Welcome back to Sunday Journal. I'm John Pastorek. Every 39 seconds, someone dies of heart disease in the United States. It almost happened to a Gonzales man who's sharing his story to help others reduce their risk. It's a story about Mark's hunting heart. Mark Wells has a hunting heart. He loves the outdoors and the time he spends with family and friends at his hunting camp in Wilson, Louisiana. But in December, he headed out for what almost became his last hunting adventure. It turned into another adventure Mark didn't bargain for.
I was heading to our camp and got on the interstate, and I just didn't feel right. You know, I had ate a kolache that morning thinking it was heartburn, you know, so I popped the Rolade, and I'm going on the interstate, and by the time I get to about the 10-12 split, it didn't go away, you know, so I'm thinking, well, I'll reach for another Rolade, and I was out, you know. Didn't really pay a whole much of mind to it. By the time I got to around the state capitol, it started hurting a little bit more. By the time I got in front of the airport, I knew it wasn't heartburn. Really was kind of like in denial. Didn't think that, hey, I'm 49 years old, I'm going to have a heart attack, you know. But when I got off on Highway 19, 20 years ago, me and my wife witnessed my daddy have a heart attack, and his arms, they went numb and broke out in a cold sweat. And that's what happened to me when I pulled off on 19. And I knew I knew something major was happening. So at that point, I had called the office and told them that, hey, I'm either going to try and drive myself to Lane, and one of my coworkers at that time told me, said, no, you need to pull over. So I pulled over at CVS in Zachary, in Baker, and called 911, and within 2 minutes, they were there, and within 5 minutes, it seemed like I was here at Lane.
Dr. Mukesh Soni discovered what was wrong. One of Mark's arteries was blocked. He was having a heart attack.
But if you see the artery up here, this is the main artery that runs in the front of the heart. It's 100% blocked here, right here. And that was giving him a massive heart attack.
So Dr. Soni did some cardio plumbing and opened up the artery and got the blood flowing again.
The whole artery came back. This is the main artery. See how big it is? Whole thing was 100% occluded. Your artery, we could able to open within 10 minutes from your hospital arrival. Especially when you have a family history, and the one kind of family history he had called like a family history of premature coronary artery disease, where the male has a disease before age of 55 and female has a disease before 65. Their family member should go for early screening, even though they are asymptomatic. And the screening should start after age of 35.
Now Mark gets regular checkups, watches his diet, and he's planning future hunting trips while helping others hunt for heart health.
I react as like I'm lucky, you know. I don't take things for granted, you know. Us as being men, I guess we want to be macho and not say, well, this can't happen to me, you know. I would, if I had any advice for anybody, don't ignore the signs from your body's telling you what's going on, because I really feel that if I'd have been at the camp or I'd have made it to the camp, I'd have died there. Because I just know that how men are and how we react to things, that, oh, it'll be okay, and it'll pass, it'll go away. But it was after the fact, you know, I look back and it was a scary thing.
The number one, the absolute most important thing you want other people to learn from your case?
Listen to your body.
I see the great blessing that we have from God, for sure. It was definitely a blessing. We were lucky.
What's the number one lesson you'd like people to learn from his case as his wife?
Well, it's kind of hard because we didn't really have any signs. A lot of people said, you know, has he been feeling bad? None of that really happened, so we were all kind of blindsided. So like you said, once you start having these symptoms, it's very important to get them checked out.
Mm-hmm. What have you learned throughout this whole thing?
Well, I've learned that we need to be a little healthier. We need to start exercising. We need to start eating right, which he's not real happy with that, with all these salads and chicken, but he's doing really well.
He is doing well. Mark, watch that fried food, okay? All right, buddy.